One Zambia, One Nation, compliments of the season, and thank you so much for joining us on Zanis News. To present it, I'm Michelle Olubinda. The headlines. Heavy rains destroy 70 houses. 1x6 classroom block commissioned at Mandenga. Rufunsa increases social cash transfer beneficiaries. And Kaoma sets up first ever GBV drop-in center. The details. More than 70 houses have been destroyed by a severe storm in Vubu district in Eastern Province. District Commissioner Given Sakala has bemoaned the incident and assured the victims of the disaster of government's intervention. The District Commissioner said this when he visited the affected families to assess the extent of the damage caused by the storm. Davison Sakala has more in the following report.
From what was seemingly a drought to a disastrous storm, 74 houses have been damaged in Vubu district following torrential rains that swept through some areas of the district in the late hours of Thursday. Vubu District Commissioner Given Sakala and his entourage, comprising the area council chairperson and disaster management and mitigation unit officer, went around to offer rapid response and assess the extent of the damage.
We are in the field doing an assessment, and I want to assure the community that the UPND government is a listening government who look into this issue so urgent, and we are here to give them primary support which we have at the district level. So we are distributing tents to our to the affected people.
Of 22 houses in Vubu ward and 52 houses in Mbozi ward. I'm very grateful for the quick response from the DMMU. We are here checking on what happened yesterday. And because of that, I'm very sure and that our government, which is a listening government, will help us as soon as possible.
And some victims of the storm, which was influenced by the El Nino rainfall pattern, were happy to receive aid from the government.
15, 14 so pamene kuna bwera mvula ya mphepo tinaona monga kuti ni mvula ya masiku onse so natenga wana onse nonkana mu nyumba so nangoona chabe mvula inachita monga ni chusi basi naona chabe malata yanyamuka pamwamba ero onse vanatenza pamene muja so unga mablanketi na fertilizer vonse vina nyowa na manzi nze mu nyumba so apa waboma ali pano pa nyumba tayamikira kuti thandizo yawo labwera mwamsanga vatipasako tenti amene azambogona mu vana mabanja yonse aviri zikomo kwambiri tiyamikira boma kuti atithandize mwamsanga.
Davison Sakala for Zanis in Vubu district.
Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo says Lusaka province has recorded 43 new cholera cases and 1 death. Ms. Masebo said there is need to control the spread of the disease in order to avoid an outbreak. Speaking when she toured the cholera center at Matero Level 1 Hospital, the minister said government has released 2.9 million kwacha to mitigate the spread of the disease. Sharon Mwalia has more in the following report.
Cholera remains a threat to public health in many countries, including Zambia. This is why Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo has called for concerted efforts to curb the spread of cholera in the country, especially in Lusaka. Ms. Masebo confirmed that Lusaka has recorded 43 new cholera cases, with Matero, Kanyama and Chawama constituencies recording high numbers of cases.
New cases 43. Now, when you start getting cases 10, 20, 30, 40, just know that they're too much. If you get any number above 10, just know that the situation is bad. We've so far recorded 1 death. And now, the death that has occurred, the explanation was because I've said we should not allow anybody to die as a facility here. That is what we've agreed, all of us, my staff, that we will not allow anybody who comes here to die. So I was asking, how did we allow this death? And the explanation to me was that this person came, it was too late. So people are coming late because of stigma. They don't want to say they've got diarrhea. Or, so what they are doing is that they are staying home and giving themselves medicine and thinking that they will survive.
Ms. Masebo disclosed that government has put in place measures to contain the disease.
We feel that the door-to-door sensitization is the most effective one. So this is why we want to build on the number of our community health workers and the numbers of volunteers, so that we can increase from the current number by another 120, so that they go out in the entire constituency, door to door, to tell people, but also to teach them on how they can avoid it. I'm happy that government has already released those resources, but I'm told they'll be available in the bank tomorrow. The resources that have been released are about 2.9 million kwacha. Bazimai, please make sure that bana mkaziba sunga na manja clean, and manza emamba mwesa ankale ya clean, amene mwaika mo chlorine o mwashita boyo. Ngati simuzashitava amene ivo vibili muzabwelesa bana kuno. There are a lot more babies on babwela kuno, and you know babies are not strong like us.
Meanwhile, Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary Mamboha Maundu has directed all councils countrywide to ensure cleanliness is maintained in their localities.
As a ministry, we are now directing all local authorities, not just in Lusaka, but across the country, to really heed and respond appropriately. We need to have markets that are very clean. We need to have public places that are very clean. And more importantly, we also need the society to get involved. The minister here has just alluded to the fact that we've got drains that are blocked. We've got sewer lines which may be blocked as a result of human behavior. So we also need to act responsibly so that we avert a calamity.
Ms. Masebo, in the company of her Permanent Secretary Christopher Simonga, Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary, and other officials toured the Cholera Treatment Center at Matera Level 1 Hospital in Lusaka today. This was after it was reported to have been flooded in the early hours of today due to a heavy downpour. Reporting for Zanis in Lusaka, Sharon Bwalia.
And in Eastern Province, more than 140,000 malaria cases have been recorded in Chipata District as at September 2023. Chipata District Commissioner Eli Dabanda disclosed the development during the launch of the mass distribution of insecticide-treated nets. Here is a report.
District has joined the rest of the country in flagging off the distribution of insecticide-treated mosquito nets targeted at eliminating malaria in Eastern Province. District Commissioner Eli Dabanda graced the ceremony.
An increase in the number of malaria cases from 108,000 in January 2022 to pick it up 145,000 in September. In addition, I'm appealing to all chiefs, local leaders, churches, government and parastatal institutions to go flat out in sensitizing our community about the important activities that the government is undertaking so that we reduce malaria in our district. Allow me to thank all our partners for their continued support.
And Chipata District Health Director Lawrence Perry gave expected results of using the insecticide-treated mosquito net.
This is a kind guest of honor where we've been from the beginning of the year. Our state guest of honor, when we actually had the cholera outbreak, people were asking about the mosquito nets instead of the cholera that we had. Now the mosquito nets have arrived, and we can happily say to everybody present that we've kept our promise and the nets are here. So this is a very memorable and happy event that we're having today. And to you all, please enjoy what we have to present, and please allow the CBVs that will be going around to give the mosquito nets to do their work.
And the residents in the districts are happy with the development.
So hapa malaria manje yankalago down chifukwa cha kuti matipasa malaria
funonena zikomo kwambiri kamba ka launch ya ma mosquito nets yamene yafika pa nthawi yake pamene ino nthawi ma mosquitoes yamene amankhala active. Iyi programu izatithandiza kwambiri makamaka kuchepesa matenda ya malungo yamene yankhala yali kuvutisa makamaka kuno ku community yathu.
Sylvester Shimba for Zanis in Chipata.
Vice President Mtalina Lumango has concluded her visit to Geneva, Switzerland. The Vice President was in Geneva on official engagement at two major United Nations high-level events on human rights and refugee protection, respectively. Victor Mwila has the details in the following report.
Vice President Mtalina Lumango has concluded her engagements in Geneva, Switzerland. Mrs. Nalumango was in Geneva on official engagements at two major United Nations UN high-level events on human rights and refugee protection. On the sidelines of the two global events, the Vice President held closed-door bilateral discussions with prominent figures from international organizations. These included the United Nations Disaster Risk Reduction Special Representative to the UN Secretary General, Mami Mizutori, and President of the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, Dr. Tanaka Akihiko. Mrs. Nalumango also conferred with UN High Commissioners for Human Rights and Refugees, Volker Turk and Filippo Grandi, respectively. In the closing stages of our engagements in Geneva, the Vice President graced the second Global Forum on Refugees as a keynote speaker, sharing the stage with UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who spoke via satellite, and High Commissioner Filippo Grandi. The world's largest gathering on refugees drew more than 4,000 delegates from over 128 countries across the globe who made over 16,000 pledges to support refugee humanitarian efforts globally.
The Vice President of the Republic of Zambia came to Geneva to attend to two very important meetings. One of it was actually a delegated meeting. It was supposed to have been attended by the President of the Republic of Zambia, His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, but it was delegated to her. This was a meeting to do with the human rights 75 high-level engagement, and the Vice President performed quite very well. She managed to even have some bilateral engagements with the important delegates from the human rights, and we saw the results that came out of that. You saw the 50 million United States dollar being signed as a deal between Zambia and the Swiss government. It's because of how government players, at high level, how they are handling themselves, beginning with the President of the Republic of Zambia, the Vice President, the ministers, and everybody else. That includes, you know, the mission here in Geneva.
The Vice President has since left Geneva, Switzerland. For Zambia, Victor Mwila for Zanis News in Geneva, Switzerland.
We take a break, and when we come back, Minister of Education commissions a 1x6 classroom block at Mandenga. Stay tuned.
For news and current affairs, entertainment, sports, children's programs, and a host of other events in and beyond our borders, Zanis TV has you covered. On Channel 6 and Channel 458 on Topstar.
Minister of Education Douglas Yakalima says the smooth implementation of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, is bettering the lives of Zambians, as evident by the investment in various sectors of the economy. Mr. Siakalima said this when he commissioned a 1x6 double-story classroom block at Mandenga Primary School in Chirundu District, funded by CDF. Mr. Siakalima, who is also Chirundu Member of Parliament, handed over a vehicle to the Zambia Police Service, bought using the CDF. Details in the following report.
They are happy because of this significant milestone, which is the completion of the two-story 1x6 classroom block at Mandenga Primary School, built using the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. The completion of this building is a reflection of how efforts of government's free education policy has been aligned with the CDF, have now translated into tangible progress for the education sector. Minister of Education, who is also a Chirundu Member of Parliament, the successful completion of this classroom block stands tall as a symbol of government's enhanced political will in ensuring that education becomes truly a right, not a privilege for the well-to-do.
This project was fully funded by the 2022 CDF allocation, totaling 1.9 million kwacha. and it stands as a testament to our commitment to providing quality education and expanding opportunities for all. Education is the cornerstone of progress and the beacon of hope for our future generations. It is not merely about constructing a building, it is about laying the foundation for a brighter tomorrow, empowering minds and shaping destiny. This facility represents our dedication to providing a nurturing environment where learning flourishes and dreams and wings to soar. However, the invariable support from the Constituent Development Fund has been instrumental in translating our vision into reality.
For Toronto Town Council and other key stakeholders, they want to continue to be pioneers in the successful implementation of the Constituency Development Fund, CDF.
The substantial increase toward the CDF funding epitomizes the government's steadfast commitment to uplifting our community and the education sector. It stands as a testimony to our vision for comprehensive growth, with education at the forefront of this transformative journey.
Expanded the Constituent Development Fund made available to our district.
For the learners, education indeed forms a bedrock of a prosperous and equitable society.
Today marks a special day in the history of our school as we gather to celebrate the official handover of the first ever double-story classroom block that was built using Constituency Development Fund's CDF.
In Northwestern Province, Kabompo District Commissioner Herbert Chinyanga has commended government for fulfilling the promise of providing the Zambia Police Service with a utility vehicle for operations at constituency level. Mr. Chinyanga observed that Zambia Police Service has been providing law and order under difficult circumstances. The district commissioner said this when he received the Constituency Development Fund CDF police vehicle for Kabompo constituency. Benson Whitaker has more in the following report.
In its quest to ensure law and order in the nation prevails, government pronounced the procurement of motor vehicles for the Zambia Police Service in all the constituencies of the country through the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Kabompo District of Northwestern Province is the latest recipient of the Land Cruiser motor vehicle. Herbert Chinyanga is the district commissioner.
As the district have been struggling with transport, the only reliable transport is my vehicle for the DC and the vehicle for forest. And then the functions and the activities for the police have been very difficult. They were working under duress. And I must also thank the officer in charge for the activities that has been doing without a proper running vehicle. But we have just been coordinating. But praise God that the government, the cabinet sat down and then came up with the initiative of using CDF to buy the vehicles. And the first priority has been given to the government itself, which is the police. Because the police is the one which looks after us all.
And speaking at the same event, Kabompo District Zambia Police Officer in Charge, Vincent Banda, recalled the hurdles they had been experiencing before the development.
We have been struggling for too long in terms of our operations. Now that the government has honored and given us vehicles, our morale is very high than before. It was not an easy thing, what we went through. So we appreciate the government, among other ministries, beginning with the police. We thank the higher authorities, the president, the cabinet, the high command, and the people of Zambia for having supported the idea for the government to purchase the vehicles for the police through CDF.
The district commissioner further advised the new motor vehicle recipients to utilize it with care as any other vehicle.
So this vehicle, as it has come, one officer in charge, we need this vehicle to be taken care of, just as we have been doing to the other vehicles that we have been borrowing for your activities. Even this one, it is really your vehicle which has come, and it has to be used for the intended purposes.
As law and order and strong institutions remain imperative for sustainable development, government will indeed equally remain resolute in resolving the existing challenges through the CDF and the implementation of the decentralization policy. For Zanis News, Benson Whitaker, Kabompo District in Northwestern Province.
Still in Northwestern Province, the Civil Society for Poverty Reduction, CSPR, says they want to ensure that the budgeting system of the country responds to both the needs of men and women. CSPR Programs Manager Eddie Musosa said this could only be achieved if women understood and took an active role in financial issues as men do. He was speaking during the launch of the Advocacy for Transparency through Enhanced Feminist and Women Participation in Debt Management in Zambia, held in Solwezi.
Women play a crucial role in the emancipation of various economic sectors that enhance economic growth. For this reason, the Civil Society for Poverty Reduction, CSPR, has launched a project to enhance women participation in issues surrounding public debt. CSPR Programs Manager Eddie Musosa sheds light on the project.
Our being here today to launch this project titled Advocacy for Transparency through Enhanced Feminist and Women Participation in Debt Management. The subject matter which this project is going to focus on in the next 2 years is that of the public debt. So the debt situation in Zambia, I think most of us around the room are alive to it. It's not a problem that has started now. But I think the other biggest gap that we've noticed, Your Worship, is that citizens are not adequately involved when it comes to conversation on the public debt.
Solwezi Mayor is at hand to grace the event.
The project's primary focus is to empower and raise awareness among its beneficiaries, women and feminist movements regarding their rights to demand explanation and justification for the government's debt management practices.
Meanwhile, Solwezi Youth Alive Finance and Admin Officer echoes the important role women play in the nation.
At least now we'll be able to add our voices to the public debt management. You know, even in a home, when the debt is too high, if our parents sit together with our mothers, and discuss it, it's always manageable.
For Zanis News in Solwezi District, Jennifer Toshi.
In Lusaka Province, Rufunsa District has increased the number of households receiving social cash transfer from 3,000 to 5,000. District Commissioner Richard Mabena says government is committed to uplifting the standards of living for the most vulnerable in society. Musekiwe Ntembe has the details.
The Ministry of Community Development and Social Services has continued to implement government social programs such as the social cash transfer, among others in Rufunsa district of Lusaka province. The ministry, through the Department of Social Welfare, is not leaving any stone unturned as it constantly monitors the beneficiaries to check on how they are faring, especially with the social cash transfer. Friday Banda is a physically challenged person who benefits from the social cash transfer, and Agnes Karuba, the wife, now explains how the money has helped them.
Na chitechi wa mdala ndalama ametitenga ni wa mdala aliwole mala 800 pa 800 amene lero tankhala bwino tapezako na nyumba yolalamo kale kanyumba kamene tinalulalamo ni kanyumba kakuti kanafuna utigwera kazinkhalira koma niwonga zikoma paichi boma amene munachita kwa ise tili pano mwandi tatandiziwa munjira iliyonse.
Another beneficiary is related with the program as it has improved their livelihood.
Tiyamikira kwambiri maningi monga kunchito emene musebenza yobwesa ndalama kuchokera imwe muri wa social transfer yatitandiza maningi kwanankhala kuti kulibe iyo vutu asimbe yatikulira maningi.
Rufunsa District Commissioner Richard Mabena has commended cooperating partners who are complementing government efforts in the provision of social protection programs to the vulnerable in communities.
I just want to recommend the government of Netherlands, Switzerland, United Kingdom and Sweden
for being among some of the stakeholders who have been helping us in the social protection, so that at least we alleviate poverty in the rural areas. And this has helped, more especially here in Funza, whereby the poverty levels has reduced among our citizens here, just because of the same help which we get from these stakeholders and these governments from other who are giving us the monies, so that at least we are able to do the social cash transfer. And also the numbers have increased also, the beneficiaries in Funza, from the 2,000 plus to almost close to 5,000 this year, which has been a wonderful thing. And the people are very happy with the social protection, which UPND government is spearheading.
The Ministry of Community Development and Social Services is implementing social protection programs in support of cooperating partners such as the governments of Ireland, Switzerland, United Kingdom, and Sweden to help uplift the living standards of the most vulnerable in society. Reporting for Zanis in Rufusa district of Lusaka province, I am Msekiwa Ntembe.
That story takes us to a break, and when we come back, 32 CDF-sponsored students graduate in Chirundu. Stay tuned.
For news and current affairs, entertainment, sports, children's programs, and a host of other events in and beyond our borders, Zanis TV has you covered. On Channel 6 and Channel 458 on Topstar.
In Western Province, Kaoma District has established the first ever drop-in center to address urgent needs of survivors of gender-based violence, GBV, human trafficking, and vulnerable individuals in the district. District Commissioner Muyambango Kashina says government and cooperating partners renovated a dilapidated government rest house at a cost of 750,000 kwacha to be used to host the survivors.
Government, in collaboration with International Organization for Migration, has funded the rehabilitation of a government rest house that will be used as shelter for gender-based violence survivors, human traffic survivors, and stranded vulnerable people. A total of 749,000 has been pumped in. Kaoma District Commissioner Moyambango Kashina Sheba visited the site to check on the progress made.
We are not very happy because the time that we were expecting this building to be handed over to us, it was a long time ago. But the contractor asked for an extension, which was given to him. But up to now, the building is not completed. And let me take this opportunity to thank the organization for giving us this building, to renovate this building. For us as a district, we are happy because it's going to serve a very big purpose. So many people are going to be helped because of this building. But we know that
Fred Mwade is Kaoma District Works Supervisor and had this to say.
We are on the project site, and as you can see, the workers are on top of the roof putting the IBRs. The works are progressing, but at a slow pace.
Works began on the 22nd of May 2023 and was expected to be completed by September 2023. The contractor, however, has his own justification for the delay.
We were supposed to hand over 2 months ago, but we had some challenges in terms of the coming of materials, also the improvement of some works which were not in the POQ.
Once completed, the center will accommodate more than 12 survivors. Mtinta Mbagwe for Zanis in Kaoma District, Western Province.
In Lusaka, the church says it is committed to establishing tangible projects that can contribute significantly to the welfare of people in communities. The Seventh-day Adventist Church, SDA Midlands East Zambia Conference Personal Ministries, and Sabbath School Director Timothy Nyirenda says time has come for the church to invest in real projects that can stand the test of time. Pastor Nyirenda was speaking during the induction service of Adventist Men Organization and Docas workers at SDA University Church in Lusaka. Here's a report.
The church has a critical role to play in uplifting the lives of people in communities. The Seventh-day Adventist Church, SDA, has continued supplementing government's efforts in the education and health sectors, among others. SDA Midlands East Zambia Conference Personal, Ministries and Sabbath School Director Timothy Nyirenda says the church will continue to invest in projects such as schools and health centers. Mr. Nyirenda was speaking during the induction service of Adventist Men Organization, AMO, and Dorcas workers at University SDA Church in Lusaka today.
We are telling our members to move away from the usual way of doing church. In as much as we are worshiping God and preparing the world for the second coming of Jesus Christ, we are also trying to lift the lives of the people in the community. And how are we going to lift them, lift their lives? As Dorcas and Amo, we are embarking on projects. We are embarking on projects in the society that will benefit the society, the community. We are trying to supplement on the efforts that the government is making. We realize government alone cannot meet the demands, the needs of the community.
Midlands East Zambia Conference Dorcas Federation President highlighted the duties of the Dorcas wing in the church.
These Dorcas workers affiliate themselves to the Dorcas Society under the conference. Their core duty is to carry out things that require attention in terms of attending to the needs of the vulnerable in our communities where we are variously placed. The Dorcas, indeed, are one society that are supervised or monitored by the Personal Ministries Department of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. They are an extension or an arm of outreach to the vulnerable.
A newly inducted Dorcas mother also highlighted her expectations.
I'm ready to go out there and work with the sick, work with the community out there to better their lives, as well as to spread the gospel to everyone that I'll come into contact with. Like I said,
for Zanis in Lusaka, I am Sundayday.
In Central Province, the Media Network Children's Rights and Development has called upon the church to partner with civil society organizations to tackle gender and child rights. Media Network Children's Rights and Development Central Province Coordinator Wisdom Kaunda says the church should take a center stage in engaging children in prevention of violence against women and girls. More in the following report.
Engaging children in the prevention of violence against women and girls and promoting women participation in public life is critical, as they have the ability to question outdated thinking about gender roles and establish respectful relationships that promote gender equality.
The girl child being affected to the point where it is more like they are being promoted and then the boy child is being neglected.
This whole notion of promoting the girl child more than the boy child is because of the violations that were upon the girl child.
Media Network Children's Rights and Development Coordinator Wisdom Kaunda explains the importance of engaging children in the fight against gender-based violence.
Our main focus is just to highlight some of the issues affecting our communities in terms of gender. So the children are here, we're here to learn, and what they learn, we are taking it into the community to share with the other children, so that we can improve on issues to do with gender inequality in our communities. By engaging children, we feel it's another way of letting the children participate, as well as to reach out to as many as children as possible so that they can grow into responsible adults.
And the Pentecostal Assemblies of Zambia in Kabwe District has called upon Christians to join efforts to fight against gender-based violence.
We must understand that with the right message being preached from the church, we're going to create an environment which is conducive for the child of today and for the youth of today. So as the church, We must understand that we have a duty and a responsibility to partner together with the organization to see to it that our today time, we preach the right message when it comes to the issues of gender and child's rights.
Meanwhile, the Zambia Police Community Service Department wants rural areas to place more value on education in order to reduce on early marriages.
The value placed on school when you are in rural setups is quite lower than the premium that is attached to education when you are here in town. To marry is an achievement in the village or in a local setup and have children as it were.
Daniel Billy for Zanis News in Kabwe District, Central Province.
And finally, in the news, Zambian boxer Davis Sniper Mwale is the new African Boxing Union ABU bantamweight champion. Mwale beat South African boxer Innocent Tycoon Mantengu in a split referee decision after 12-round tight fight held at Government Complex in Lusaka this morning. Oriental Queries Boxing Promotions manager Christopher Malunga expressed happiness with the win by his boxer Mwale. Malunga thanked sponsors, cooperating partners, and the media for the support towards the successful hosting of the ABU Championship. Meanwhile, former World Boxing Council WBC champion Charles Manucci has retired from active boxing. Manucci announced his retirement shortly after an 8-hour round non-title fight supporting bout for the ABU title fight between Mwale and Mantengu. That sporting story brings us to the end of the news, but before we go, a recap of stories that made headlines. Heavy rains destroy 70 houses. 1x6 classroom block commissioned at Mandenga. Rufunsa increases social cash transfer beneficiaries. And Kaoma sets up first ever GBV drop-in center. That's all we could package in this bulletin. On behalf of the entire production team, this has been Michelle Olwinda. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, it's bye-bye and God bless.